My 55-year-old manchild husband hates our 4-month-old son. He neglected and left him in his crib all alone while he was crying. Then said he resents it and wishes it had never here, and he has 4 adult children. I'm at a loss. My husband has no patience with our 4-month-old. We're older parents. I'm 43, and my husband is 55. We've been married for 2 years, and our son wasn't planned, it just happened. At first, he was happy, but once the baby arrived, I realized he was no longer happy. He rarely helps with the baby, claiming he doesn't know how to do anything, despite me showing him simple tasks like changing diapers and putting on clothes. He says it's too hard and never truly tries, so I've been doing it all myself. Our baby had colic and would cry more than usual. My husband hated that and would get very annoyed if our son cried for more than 5 minutes. He would yell at me, do something, get him to shut up, and never once tried to help. I felt so alone during the first few weeks after our son was born. Then my husband began complaining that the baby was taking up all my time, and I had no time for him. Now, our son is 4 months old and has started being very clingy, crying every time I put him down. It's been really frustrating because there are times I have to set him down, but I never let him cry for more than 10 minutes. Yesterday, I had to run an errand and left my husband to look after our son. I wasn't gone for long. It was probably 15 minutes after I left when he called me, saying I needed to come back because he couldn't get the baby to stop crying. I told him to try taking the baby outside. Shortly after, I got a notification from the baby monitor and saw our son in his crib crying. I was so frustrated that I turned around and came back home. When I got back, our son was still in his crib crying, and my husband was just sitting on the couch. I was furious and asked him why he left the baby crying for so long. I couldn't get him to stop. I effing hate that thing and wish it was never here. His comment surprised and saddened me. I know everyone gets frustrated at times, but I feel like his comment was over the top, and I don't know what to do anymore. Update. 4 days later. I'm planning an exit strategy that my husband doesn't know about. Even though he apologized for saying he hated our baby and wished it wasn't here, I no longer trust him. Recently, he has been trying to make amends, but I'm still uncertain about my feelings towards him. This morning, I woke up later than usual and found that both he and my son were gone. He had taken our son for a walk without informing me, which made me panic and almost call the police. They returned just before I did. I told him not to go anywhere with our son because I no longer trust him. He insisted he would never harm his son and that his comment was made out of frustration. He felt I was overreacting and was hurt that I viewed him as a terrible person. I told him only a terrible person would say they hated their helpless baby and wished they weren't here. Despite his efforts to help more by changing diapers and feeding our son, I'm struggling to move past his hurtful comments. He has 4 adult children from a previous marriage, and he has a close relationship with them. From what I've seen, he seems to be a good father. Some people have suggested he might have postpartum depression, but when I brought it up, he dismissed it, saying he just gets irritated when our son cries for too long. He claims he's working on his patience, but I wonder if his age 55 contributes to his lack of patience with our 4-month-old. I'm in my head a lot deep down. I think I know what I need to do to keep my child safe, but another part of me wants to give him another chance. Relevant comments. OP when asked if it was a head injury since her husband was a father and had kids before. He's never had a head injury. He mentioned that he doesn't remember his own kids crying as much as our baby does. Has her husband been a hands-on father in the past? I've tried to get him to help with our baby, but he keeps saying he doesn't know what to do, despite me showing him. He admitted that he never did anything for his kids. His ex-wife did everything. Comment by OP. I'm not judging him for expressing frustration. We all get frustrated at some point. But I'm currently at my breaking point. My issue with him is that every single time our son cries for longer than 5 minutes, he yells at me to shut him up or do something now. He doesn't even help or even attempt to. He's only started showing some interest in our son recently because I think he fears I will leave.